What up, everybody? The Shy Season 7 finale is titled Rebirth, and we saw two parallel situations of rebirth taking place throughout the episode, with both Keisha and Tiff giving birth this episode, while both of these children's grandmothers on their father's side died within less than 24 hours apart from the child's birth. Then there's the parallel that both these children are named after somebody. Keisha having a girl, named her Jada, and Tiff having a boy, respected Alicia's request, and named him Rob Jr. after his father. Alicia also got to hear the good news just seconds before she was killed, while Jada was actually able to hold little Jada in her arms one time before she passed. Another storyline of rebirth that we saw in this episode was Pastor Zeke's rebirth, both in ministry as well as with his family and his ex-wife and baby mother, Carolyn, and he's about to move in with her. And either though we didn't see it in this episode, Pastor Zeke and Carolyn hinted about a rebirth in the relationship between Papa and Kenya. We also saw a rebirth in the relationship between Bakari and Lene, as Lene asked Bakari to move in with her, telling him that she saved up money and is going to be moving out and no longer living with her brother and his wife. And I don't know if I go as far as saying that Reg had a rebirth in this episode, but he did get out on bail and have a major come up, because the episode starts off with a continuation of last week's episode after Candace texted Alicia, who's going by the name Terry, who made the call to Tucson in time to have Reg arrested. As soon as Reg got arrested and thrown in the back of the cop car, Candace immediately called Keith and told him where Reg kept his stash of money hidden, and they went to bail Reg out because they only had him on breaking and entering charges. So with Alicia dead and Reg out on bond, we'll see if Toussaint's son Tristan actually gets out of jail in season 8. But when Reg got out on bail, Candace admitted that she thinks her friend Terry played her when Reg and Keith figured out that her friend was Alicia. As a result of that, Reg now had the upper hand, and Candace went to meet up with Alicia, telling her it was an emergency, while Reg broke into her house and robbed her, even taking all the money out of her safe, her jewelry collection, and trashing her house in the process. And the last time we saw Reg at the end of the episode, he was spreading the wealth from the lick he hid at Alicia's house around with his crew, including the snitch Hannibal, getting me to Alicia's debt. The episode also started off with Nuck hooking up with some random girl when Rosalind walked in with a gun drawn on Nuck, about to kill him for killing Duda, telling Nuck that she found a letter from Duda saying if something happened to him, she needs to kill whoever killed him. But Nuck, in the exact same way he did with Alicia when she had a gun drawn on him, blaming him for Rob's death, and he pointed her in the direction of Zay, he did the exact same thing with Rosalind and rerouted her in Alicia's direction, telling Rosalind Alicia killed Duda, and how Alicia and Bianca set Duda up, and just leaving out the fact that he took the kill shot. So Alicia got home after meeting up with Candace to find out her place had been robbed and trashed. Then found out that Tiff gave birth to her grandson, only for Rosalind to walk in, letting Alicia know that she knows that she killed Duda, that Nuck told her. When Alicia told Rosalind that Nuck killed Duda and she saw him do it. But Rosalind told Alicia about how Nuck told her about Alicia's plan, and Alicia admitted to it, saying that she wanted revenge, when Rosalind told her that she wanted revenge too, and pulled out her gun and shot Alicia multiple times and killing her. But with that said, the truth is still out there about not only who killed Rob, but who really pulled the trigger and killed Duda. And with Alicia telling Rosalind that Nuck pulled the trigger and killed Duda, I wouldn't be surprised if Rosalind eventually circles back around to see Nuck again concerning that. Then the next morning when Tiff woke up and Alicia still hadn't been to the hospital to see her grandbaby, Tiff texts Nuck to have him check on Alicia, only for Nuck to walk in and see Alicia laying on the ground dead. So Nuck quickly turned around and wiped his fingerprints off the door and left. Around the same time, Rashad just got done spending the night with his new girl, Nora, and had to go to his job as Alicia's security guard. And when he showed up and saw Alicia laying on the ground dead, Rashad panicked and called Victor, who was at the hospital with Tiff, but didn't tell him what was going on, only for when Victor showed up at Alicia's house. Rashad was kneeling next to Alicia's body, then told Victor that they needed to move her body onto the couch, and got blood all over themselves in the process. And as soon as that happened is when the cops showed up at the door with the place surrounded, telling Rashad and Victor to come out with their hands up. And the episode concluded with Rashad and Victor walking out of Alicia's house, about to be placed under arrest for murder, with the song Back to Life playing, an Easter egg to the opening scene of the movie Belly. So my first question is, why did the cops show up at the time they did, like they knew there was a crime that went down? I think that most likely Nuck texted Tiff after seeing that Alicia was dead and probably told her to call the cops or something like that. And that's why the cops showed up soon after Nuck left. Then there's also the fact that it's going to look extra bad for Rashad because the place was trashed from Reg vandalizing her house when he robbed her. And because the fact that Shad and Alicia had recently got out of a relationship, the cops could try to say that it was some kind of killing because he was mad that Alicia broke things off with him. But other than charging Victor and Rashad for being stupid as hell and messing with a crime scene, both Victor and Rashad each should be able to beat this case because the fact they both have alibis. Because the fact that Victor was at the hospital with Tiff, he'll be able to beat the case pretty easily. And Rashad also has an alibi being with Nora the night before. Either though, because they won't have him on any type of video, like they have Victor being at the hospital, her statement will carry a lot more weight whether Rashad ultimately beats this case or not. And if he ends up not beating this case, then Victor could get thrown in as well as an accessory after the crime. They could try to say that he was trying to help Rashad get rid of the body or something like that. Then there's also the fact that neither Rashad or Victor have a murder weapon on them. And also once the cops look at Alicia's house and talk to Tiff, they'll also figure out that there was a robbery. But again, if they're really trying to stick this case on Rashad, they could say he killed Alicia, then went to get rid of the murder weapon and hide whatever he stole, then came back with Victor to get rid of the body. And since Victor was with Tiff and even went to Alicia's house the night prior, they might also say that he left the door open for Rashad and gave him word that nobody was home. That's why Nora's testimony will be everything in this case. But if Victor and Rashad beat this case, the only way I think the cops will continue to investigate into what happened is if Detective Toussaint gets involved and tries to pin it on Reg. And something interesting about this whole situation is Reg's brother Victor getting arrested for this after Reg broke into Alicia's house and robbed her. So going into season 8, once Reg finds out Alicia's dead and hears about everything going on, he's definitely going to want to get rid of everything he stole from Alicia real quick. And there you have it. Leave your thoughts, theories, and predictions in the comments.